Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So up here near the cloud line up here on the mountain, and I'm gonna do some FPV range testing on the FUAV SERAPHI. Got the get to camera, supposed to be a really good one for the price, mounted up on the stock SERAPHI gimbal, and the controller's all stock. Just got the Phantom 3 props on, which seem to be right around the best for flight time. So gonna do some FPV. The FPV works right out of this camera here on the mini USB port, and I just have a TS832 600 milliwatt VTX transmitter with just an extension cable onto an IB Crazy cloverleaf antenna for video. And so I'm gonna go ahead and see what the range is like on this guy. I haven't done a range test really on this yet, and so I'm going to do kind of an all-in-one range and FPV test on it, see how it works. What I'm going to be doing is also doing the FPV goggles, and this is a helical antenna, which I'll be testing out today. And then I'm going to be recording the FPV on an Android phone, so we'll have video from this and also the video of the FPV up for viewing. So I'm just going to fly out straight out from the mountain, and stay away from people, and just try to see how far this thing can go with the stock controller, get some range on it. Now I think with this setup here I can get about between 16 and 20 minutes. It kind of depends on the weather. It's real nice and calm today, so I think it should be closer to the 20-minute, but just for safety precautions, since I don't have any telemetry on this, and I can't see like the battery level or anything, I'm just going to time it on my cell phone. Just going to maybe do maybe like 6 to 8 minutes of a timed kind of straight out, and then when that alarm goes off I'm just going to kind of come back, kind of like you've seen with my X380 video, and I'll have some commentary while I'm flying, so we can talk about what's happening in flight. Alright, so let's go ahead and boot this guy up and get started with the flight. Alright, so I got everything started up, recording the FPV, and the camera's recording, starting the timer, and let's go ahead and test this thing out. So we got GPS lock, and I'm gonna go ahead and make sure we're in we're in GPS mode, so let's go for it. Alright, so let's go up a little bit. So I'm just going to stay at about this height for the entire flight. And let's do a little bit of tilting on the camera. Whoop. Looks like the cable is kind of binding, but anyway, I'll be trying to tilt down a little bit like that. That looks like it will go down. Just to, I think the cable is, I should have moved the cable for the camera. It's kind of getting in the way of the tilt. But anyway, I'll be doing that once in a while so we can kind of see where it lost connection. So I'm just going to go straight. And hopefully I can keep the, you'll see that camera picture icon kind of pop on the picture sometimes too, probably. That's because it's taking a shot every 60 seconds, like just a camera shot. So as you can see, the video is really clear with this helical coil. Again, I'll have all this equipment. I'll have the links in the description of where you can get all this stuff, all the mods and SERAPHI, the camera and all that stuff. So if you guys want to do this to your SERAPHI, you can. So anyway, so we're just cruising in GPS mode, and just gonna kind of tilt down a little bit. You can see we're just flying right over the forest, and tilt forward. So far really smooth. I mean, in my FPV I just move my head a little bit to the right and see how it's getting a little bit scratchy, but if I point this helical with the 600 watt transmitter right at the SERAPHI, it's basically crystal clear. So I know I'm kind of going in that general direction, so I just have my head pointed in that general direction. So anyway, just kind of turning a little bit back and forth.
You can see how the gimbal's doing a pretty good job. It's got to tilt down a little bit. I really wish I would have made sure that cable wasn't catching, so I could get more of a face down tilt without any problems. It looks like, yeah, see, it hits that cable. But anyway, I'm just going to continue flying until the timer goes off. Now right now the Get 2 camera is in gyro mode, so what it does is it crops into the picture, the 1080-60 picture, just a little bit. It gets a little more zoomed into the picture, and then it does stabilization. I just had it on because I didn't want the legs. As you can see, there's no legs in view. I think if I didn't have that on, the legs might be just a tad in view, but maybe not. Plus, it'll be a lot more stable image. It just won't be as crystal clear as without the gyro on, or the gyro off, sorry. So I'm going to stay away from going over people's houses and just, well, yeah, just try to stay just right in the over trees and stuff. As you can see, the image is crystal clear. I think we're probably, you know, getting close to a mile now, and I just have the pitch full forward. I don't want to go into altitude only mode because I'm not going to turn the GPS off because if I do, it'll come back when it returns to home and failsafe. It'll come back slower, and I don't want to be zooming out at high speed and deplete half of the battery, and then it's zooming back slower, and then battery runs out. So I like to just kind of go out at the same speed it's going to come back when it does return, hit that failsafe, just for safety precautions. That would really suck if it ran out of power and you're only 3/4 of the way back and it just drops out of the sky. So I'm not going to do that. But as we can see, it's a really beautiful day today, and I'm just heading straight out here. That's the north shore of Maui. Tilting the camera up, you can see the propeller over there to the right, just barely. So I like to just kind of tilt it down so the horizon is kind of right in the middle for forward shots without getting the propeller. So far so good. I still have full control. Doing a little bit of yaw here, as you can see, left and right. And I still have perfectly full control. The video is crystal clear. I'm going to turn my head to the right and you're going to see some fuzzies. See that? But if you keep this helical pointed in the general, like, I think it's a 30-degree cone, you have no problem with reception up for miles. So it's working really good with the IB Crazy transmitter antenna, the cloverleaf on the craft. I use that on all my longer distance flights. It's working excellent, and then this helical is a great match for it. I can't remember the brand of this helical antenna, but I'll have it in the description. I think it's one of those higher end brands besides IB Crazy. So anyway, still going strong, yawing left and right, and we still have great control. So I have a feeling this thing's gonna be in control possibly all the way until that 7-minute timer mark I set. So I don't foresee any problems. Looks like this is going to be the stock range, may be fine as long as you're in a place like this. I am up in the mountains, and as you can see, far away from any okay, so there's our alarm. So I'm going to stop here. I'm still in full control, as you can see. No problems whatsoever. So I'm just going to kind of tilt the camera down here and really just try to get a sense of where we are, and then I'll just Google Maps it and check on Google Maps like where we stopped to turn around. Alright, cool. So let's see what the return to home failsafe does here. I'm going to go ahead and actually switch the controller off. So cross your fingers. Alright, so controller's off. I just switched it off. And let's see what happens. So the Seraphi's just sitting there. Now it's turning to the right. That took maybe about 10 seconds or so. As it's turning, you can see that the screen got just slightly fuzzy. And now it's heading back. Now if I turn the controller back on, and the screen got a little bit fuzzy just because the antenna is trying to go through like the gimbal and the camera at certain angles. So I just turned the controller back on, and as you can see, it automatically rebound, and I have my pitch control. All other controls, whoa, okay, there's our yaw. So we still have yaw and pitch, but it locks you out of pitch and roll for control. So we still have pitch on the camera and yaw. So the Seraphi will actually come back to you. I'm way up there above that top of that green field. So the Seraphi will actually let you yaw around while you're coming home, while you're doing a return to home. So this is really cool. Really good way to get some panoramic shots and not have to worry about if you are coming home, you know. You can kind of just do this, and it's kind of like somebody's piloting at home while you're doing your camera movement. So that's a really neat feature for this one. Really like that. So I'm just panning left and getting like a nice panoramic shot of Maui here. There's the West Maui Mountains, Kihei, Wailea, and there's that lavender farm down there. Okay, and there we are, up at Poli Poli. I have my head tilted a little bit to the right. You can see the graininess in the picture there, but when I tilt it to the left, I just moved it to the left. Look at how clear it became in the FPV. So looks like it's doing great. Well, it's coming home. I'm gonna turn off this controller really quick. I mean the alarm, so we're not hearing that. Let's stop that. So we're at -3 minutes. I'm just going to stop it there. The FPV probably got really weird as I lifted the goggles up and the antenna got skewed. Okay, so we're still coming home. And I just want to see, like, you know, how much power we have left. When we come home, I'll fly it around a little bit when we're in the general vicinity and be checking the low level power light and all that stuff. But it looks like it's coming home no problem, and we still have full control. I got control of the yaw and the pitch of the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take over, and all you do is that GPS ADI switch is you click it a couple times. Let me see if that did it. Nope, it has to be 3 or 4 times, I think. So we're going to go from GPS up, down, up. Yeah, so I'm taking over. I'm in attitude mode now, which is just altitude hold, and I'm just going to zoom home a little faster. You can see how it's speeding up. There's the, I like to sometimes look up so you can see the props, and you know you have control. So you see them, I'm shaking them back and forth with the roll. So great. So I'm going to tilt that camera back down. And I don't know exactly where I am. I think I'm more in this direction for this flight. But as you can see, really smooth. This thing's flying great. Full pitch forward in attitude mode, where it's not using any GPS for flight right now, unless it goes into the failsafe. I'm going to stop, let off the controls. So like the camera just kind of hit the wire again. And I'm going to go into GPS. And I'm going to turn off the controller again. And it should go into another return to home. Because I don't know exactly where I'm at. Okay, I think I see myself now. I think I'm up on that that little knoll up there. Okay, so I have the controller off, turning on the controller again. It's going to continue to do a return to home. While I have pitch control. Okay, there's my car up there. I think that's me up there, just below the clouds. You can see how this is a great place to fly because you're just right on the cloud line. So cloud access is really easy too. You don't have to worry about going over height limits and stuff to get into the clouds. That's going to be, I'll probably do another flight doing some cloud surfing with this one, kind of like I did with the X380, so be sure to check that video out. I got a bunch of videos on my channel. I think you'll like all these videos I got. I do reviews and all kinds of stuff, so if you haven't subscribed, I'd recommend subscribing for some cool videos like this. Okay, I can hear it. I can hear it coming back with my ears, and it's doing really well. And I can still yaw, you know, while it's coming home. It's not gonna deviate from its home course. So now it's actually flying backward on its own because I'm facing in reverse with the quad. So it is flying backward to its home point. So that's a really cool feature. I really like that. I don't know any other quads that can do that at the moment. It's the pulley road. Okay, so it looks like it's kind of dropping. Alright, so it went into, wow, okay, shoot, it went into a low voltage, it's low voltage landing just before I got it home, so that's a bummer. So as you can see, I lost signal completely, so now it's time to search for it. Alright guys, so that was a hard lesson there. Basically, if you think you're timing your flights, don't mess around. If you think you're timing it halfway before your battery's done. I went ahead and was kind of hovering for too long in between some actions, and I think that's what messed up my timing. So somewhere over there in the wilderness, the Seraphi landed. It's kind of close, but I really don't think I'm going to find it, and that's a bummer because I just bought that Get 2 camera, and that antenna's not cheap, and but you know, it's a lesson for sure. I don't have any telemetry on it, so there's really no way to find it. I could look at the video that's recorded and try to find it, but well, you know, that kind of stuff happens. At least it wasn't over any kind of civilization. So those are the important things. If that would have happened, you know, in public and could have hurt somebody or crashed on somebody's house or property damage. So when you're doing these kinds of flights and tests or anything in general, really, you know, you want to be in this kind of environment. So anyway, hard lesson learned. All right, so in search of the Seraphi out in the pig trails and in the forest. As you can see, this is crazy hard bush here, but there it is. That beeping saved it. So you know how it goes into that annoying beep after sitting for a while? Well, today this is saving it. So that thing is very functional. Looks like it may have some damage from here. I see the gimbal popped off, but camera's still on there. And as you can see, of course, it's right on this ravine. There's like a ledge right here. And it's on this little grassy knoll right on the edge of the ravine. So somehow I have to get to it.
rescue it, and get back through this crazy brush in the pig trails. So I'll check back in a bit. Okay, so that was the most radical quad rescue I've ever had to do. Whoa. And as you can see, this is insane. This is there's a ravine right here. I mean, it's, you know, it's like 20 feet, but still, it just landed right on the edge of it. You can see this cliff face on the other side of the ravine. It's going to be really hard to get back through this stuff. So, but anyway, that's my problem. And status on this guy is, it looks a-okay. Looks like the propellers. Whoa. Looks like the propellers tried to spin for a bit and caught some grass when it fell. Otherwise, nothing really looks broken because it landed in those trees. So if you're wondering about that annoying beep, this is what it's for, apparently. You lose it, and if there's no activity on the controller, it does this. So that's a really good saving feature. Otherwise, I would not have been able to recover this. Looked at the FPV video on the screen I recorded, and it got me near the vicinity, since that road was kind of a hairpin there, and I could see, I just parked my car there and walked into the woods like 100 yards or so, and here it is. So anyway, Seraphi rescue successful. I really thought I lost this thing in my new Get 2 camera, but hopefully you saw that whole thing played out, and gonna definitely get this thing back up and running. It looks like minimal damage, if any damage at all. Everything is fine. I think the battery probably still should be good. I should unplug it as soon as possible. And I'll have up on the screen the flight path and the distance. But just keep in mind, be really thoughtful of your battery timings if you don't have any telemetry to let you know. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. This trek is really going to be a bitch with one hand holding this.